President Rodrigo Duterte signs a proclamation declaring a state of calamity in 3 barangays in Boracay on the day of the shutdown of the world-famous island. Barangays Balabag, Manok-Manok, and Yapak are placed under a state of calamity Thursday. But Malacanang has not yet issued an executive order on the 6-month closure of Boracay itself. Interior Department Officer in Charge Eduardo Año says, quote, "There will be additional executive orders and administrative orders to follow." Malacanang earlier downplayed the seemingly last-minute issuance of the written orders, saying the public didn't need the documents to know about and prepare for the closure. Socio-Economic Planning Secretary Ernesto Pernia says the country stands to lose 1.96 billion pesos due to closure of Boracay for rehabilitation. Duterte also earlier admitted he has no master plan for Boracay. The Philippines on Thursday afternoon says it handed Kuwait a diplomatic note to convey its great displeasure after the Kuwaiti government declared Philippine Ambassador Renato Villa as persona non grata. Kuwait on Wednesday expelled Villa due to undiplomatic acts by Philippine Embassy staff. A video of the Philippine Embassy in Kuwait rescuing abused overseas Filipino workers, allegedly without coordinating with local police, earlier went viral. The video was released by the Foreign Affairs Department. The DFA says, quote, "The department served a diplomatic note to the Embassy of Kuwait conveying its strong surprise and great displeasure over the declaration of Ambassador Renato Pedro Villa as persona non grata, the continued detention of 4 Filipinos hired by the Philippine Embassy, and the issuance of arrest warrants against 3 diplomatic personnel." It adds, "These acts are inconsistent with the assurances and representations made by the Kuwaiti ambassador." Kuwaiti Ambassador Saleh Ahmad Al-Thwaiq supposedly said Villa was welcome to stay in Kuwait until the end of his tour of duty. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque says Malacanang is disturbed by the expulsion of Villa. Roque says, quote, "We were convinced that all kinks have been ironed out after the meeting with Al-Thwaiq." He says, quote, "We hope that this development will not lead to further worsening of bilateral ties between the two countries. We hope that this is Kuwait's way of just expressing its anger, for which SFA Alan Cayetano had already apologized. And we believe and hope that the passage of time will heal all wounds and will lead to normalized ties." The Philippines slides 6 spots in the 2018 World Press Freedom Index amid President Rodrigo Duterte's continuous attacks against the media. The Philippines, with a score of 42.53 points, is ranked 133rd out of 180 countries this year compared to 127th in 2017. The World Press Freedom Index is released by media watchdog Reporters Without Borders or RSF. The media watchdog says the Duterte administration developed several methods for pressuring and silencing journalists who criticize his notorious war on drugs. RSF cites Duterte's verbal attacks against the Philippine Daily Inquirer and ABS-CBN, as well as the revocation of Rappler's registration. It says, quote, "The line separating verbal violence from physical violence is dissolving. Duterte not only constantly insults reporters, but has also warned them that they are not exempted from assassination." RSF also calls the Philippines Asia's deadliest country for media after 4 journalists were killed in 2017. Overall, RSF says the 2018 World Press Freedom Index reflects growing animosity towards journalists worldwide. It says, quote, "More and more democratically elected leaders no longer see the media as part of democracy's essential underpinning, but as an adversary to which they openly display their aversion." North Korean leader Kim Jong-Un and South Korean President Moon Jae-in will meet at the military demarcation line that divides the peninsula before their summit Friday. Moon will greet his visitor at the concrete blocks that mark the border between the two Koreas in the demilitarized zone. When Kim steps over the line, he will become the first North Korean leader to set foot in the South since the Korean War ended 65 years ago. The meeting will be only the third of its kind, following summits in Pyongyang in 2000 and 2007. It will come ahead of a much-anticipated meeting between Kim and United States President Donald Trump. Kim will be given a military honor guard Friday. The two leaders will walk to the Peace House, a glass and concrete building on the southern side of the truce village of Panmunjom, where the summit will be held. Kim will sign the guest book before the morning session starts. Before the afternoon session, Moon and Kim are expected to plant a pine tree, which stands for peace and prosperity, on the military demarcation line, which has symbolized confrontation and division over the past 65 years. Thrones author George R.R. Martin says the long-awaited sixth installment in his A Song of Ice and Fire series will not be coming anytime soon. A Dance with Dragons, the fifth and most recent book in the series that spawned a global cult following, was released in July 2011. The book ended with cliffhangers and unanswered questions that kept fans eagerly awaiting the follow-up that has now been delayed even further. In a blog post, Martin says, quote, "No, winter is not coming, not in 2018 at least. You're going to have to keep waiting for the winds of winter." As a consolation, Martin is releasing another book, Fire and Blood, which takes a deep dive into the history of Westeros by focusing on the stories of the ancient Targaryen kings. Martin says, quote, "This first volume covers all the Targaryen kings from Aegon I, the Conqueror, to the regency of Aegon III, the Dragonbane, along with their wives, wars, siblings, children, friends, rivals, laws, travels, and sundry other matters." He adds, quote, "Oh, and there are dragons too, lots of dragons."